Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So I wanted to do an updated version of my best eyeshadow palettes. I did this video about a year ago, probably a little bit longer than that. I mean, there's always a new eyeshadow palette out and it's really hard to keep up all the time. So I'm just gonna make your life a whole lot easier and just narrow everything down into one video. These are basically eyeshadow palettes that work on warm skin tones, darker skin tones, tan. Basically, if you put these eyeshadows on, they are going to show up. You are not going to have to be there for years on end trying to build pigment up and trying to see it appear on your skin color. Before we jump in, I am going to list all of the eyeshadow palettes in the description box along with a link to either a YouTube video where I've used the palette or an Instagram tutorial where I've also used the palette, just so you can get an idea of the look you could possibly create using that palette. So let's get straight into it. I'm gonna start off with some Huda Beauty Mini Obsessions palette. Now Huda Beauty always has new ones of these out, literally all the time. All the time there are new ones. She's got neon ones, the electric obsessions, the gemstone one, pastels, all sorts. But these ones are personally my favorite just because they are great for everyday use, evening use, and they're just your standard colors that you're gonna wanna use. I have to say though, the textures and the quality of the Huda Beauty eyeshadows through all of her mini palettes are exactly the same. So if you did want to venture out and dip into some color, then the Huda Beauty ones are really, really good for that. But back to these. These are the Nude Obsessions ones. And what I love is that she brought these out in 3 different tones. So you've got light, medium and dark. So if you're light skin, medium skin, dark skin, it just makes it a whole lot easier for you. Obviously, you don't need to follow the rules. You can use the light palette if you're dark skin, probably not these light colors, but if you wanted to use these more textured shades, you can 100% use them, and probably that one. This right here is the medium palette, which is obviously my one. I feel like these shades work perfectly for me. They're really nice and warm, and the shades are really, really spot on for my skin tone. And then for a darker skin tone, you've got these deep dark shades right here. And what I love in all of the palettes is that you've got a mixture between really, really good matte shades, your staple matte shades that you're gonna need, and then some nice classic textured metallic eyeshadows. Another couple of things that I love about these palettes is that they are mini and you can just pop them in your makeup bag. So good for a makeup bag, so good for a makeup kit. If you're a makeup artist, if you stacked loads of these, you would literally have everything you need. And then the other thing that is great is that it comes with a little mirror in here, and they're just really, really sturdy palettes. I feel like the palettes have come a really long way. They just have a better look and feel to them. So there's definitely improvements being made, but the actual quality of the shadows are amazing. Next, I've got a couple of palettes from Anastasia Beverly Hills. One of them, if you can get your hands on it still, I'm not sure, then do. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills and Jaclyn collaboration palette. This is literally such a staple go-to palette that you need in your collection. The colors, the pigment, the quality, the amount of options of looks you have to create from one palette is just amazing. Like, I really, really love this. But if you can't get your hands on that, it's fine. Another palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills, which I think is an absolute staple. Add this to Modern Renaissance Soft Glam and this palette, you are sorted. It's the Sultry palette. First of all, how gorgeous is this outside packaging? I can't even deal. And then the inside of the palette is literally, it's like Soft Glam's sister. That's exactly what it is. Soft Glam had a baby sis. If you do bridal makeup on other people, if you just in general love your neutrals, I mean, who doesn't love their neutrals? Then this is literally the palette for you. Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow quality is always 10 out of 10. It's just such a good staple, and also it just looks super glam. Thirdly, this one is slightly more affordable, but it's the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. If you love your color, then you are gonna need this. It literally has so many matte colorful shades. It's definitely mainly a matte eyeshadow palette, and I think that's great because it's actually quite hard to find a lot of colorful matte shades that are of these tones. The pigments are so intense, like they just work an absolute dream. I actually can't fault a single Morphe palette, to be fair, but this one in particular I love just because of all the colors. I did actually mention the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette in my last video, so in that time obviously they've worked on a second one, and I actually really love this one just as much. Next up are some eyeshadow palettes that came out not too long ago, and they are the Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows. I'm really loving these mini eyeshadow palettes. I just think they're so perfect to travel with. They don't take up a lot of room, and also you can just pick and choose which ones you want, kind of thing. Like, instead of getting one big palette and you're only going to use, let's say, 6 of those shades, it's just such a waste. Whereas these, they've separated kind of looks and colors that go together in small eyeshadow palettes. So these are true neutrals, and this right here is deep neutrals, and then, you know, if you bought the two, you just snap them together. It really is as easy as that. Quality of these Fenty Beauty eyeshadow palettes, they left me speechless the first time I tried them. They are velvety. The matte shadows are genuinely velvety. They are so highly pigmented. They are absolutely beautiful. They blend like a dream. You will not be wasting your money on the Fenty Beauty eyeshadows. And I have to say, these Fenty Beauty Snap Shadows are way better than the big palette that they had. I think it was the Moroccan Spice palette, something like that. This is genuinely 10 times better. And yeah, I just love them. They're great. They're really great. And then finally, I feel like I'm mentioning a lot of neutrals here, but these are palettes that I'm loving, okay? It's the Scott Barnes eyeshadow palette. If you don't know who Scott Barnes is, he is JLo's makeup artist, and he's got his own makeup line and brushes and all of that. But this is one of his eyeshadow palettes, and I have to say, I'm so impressed with it. The actual presentation of this palette is very basic. It's very basic. However, the eyeshadows, the actual eyeshadows that are sat in this palette are really good. I love how they go on. I really love how they blend. And if you know Scott Barnes, you would know he is all about the blend. And he's definitely brought out a really good palette here. Also, another thing is that you get this huge ass mirror in here. So if you were to take this anywhere, I mean, it's not a bad size to travel with again. If you were to take this anywhere and you were to leave this on like a dresser, and you needed a closer mirror, you've got a full face mirror in here, which is fantastic. So yeah, those are my favorite eyeshadow palettes that I've been loving recently. I think if you are going to invest your money in new eyeshadow palettes, then definitely look into these brands. You don't necessarily have to get these particular palettes, but these brands, because they'll do other colors in their palettes and all of that, so you can venture out. But yeah, this is just here to guide you and show you where to go, basically. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, or if you want to see more videos like this where I can narrow down things for you. Leave it down below in the comment section. Hit the like button because it does really help me out, and obviously don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of my upcoming videos. Get me on the gram, get me on TikTok. I'm doing the most. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye.